Okay, so you heard about the families of resources that are available at CLARIN, and also more and more are coming. But one of the flagship projects that I would say ended, but it didn't end actually, but it was performed within CLARIN was the corpus of parliamentary data called ParlaMint Corpus. So I would like to give you some flavor of this corpus and how it can be used. This corpus and the methodology, technology behind it became the de facto standard for representation and usage of parliamentary corpora. And at the moment, everybody who wants to construct such a corpus or use it, they rely on parliament corpora ideology behind it. So here you can see the countries that were covered. There are 29, and at the moment we lack some countries like Germany, like Romania, but we hope to have them as well covered. We believe that this corpora can be used for many research questions, like everything that is discussed in national parliaments, because up to now, up to this resource, it was not possible to compare the discussions in national corpora, in national parliaments, sorry. But now it's possible. Okay, so let's see what's more. There are several subcorpora. One is until 2020, because we also wanted some parallel data time-wise. But of course, different corpora, they can have more or less data depending on the teams. And then we had the COVID subcorpus from 2020 onwards. And I'm sorry to say that we had to have another one, which is the war part of corpus from 2022, you see the date, onwards. So all these are corpora linguistically annotated with named entities identified and with really rich metadata. So I would really stress that it's a great example of CLARIN notes collaboration, because it started when pandemic started, in a time of crisis, and it continued to be developed in time of crisis. So the ParlaMint corpora are interoperable. That was not possible before, because we have these national parliaments together. They are annotated within a specifically developed TI-based schema. And why they are comparable? Because I already mentioned we have overlapping periods. You see the dates, and more or less overlapping metadata. For example, related to speakers, to parties, to sessions, to reactions, the same types of linguistic annotations. And not only this, because you can say, okay, how we can compare. We cannot speak 29 languages, right? And for that reason, all these corpora were translated into English with the best models for each pair. And it is also available as a resource and for search. Okay, so just you to have an idea what it looked like to work on this. Here are more than 90 collaborators from more than 20 countries. And you see more than 1 billion words are available. Yeah, I already mentioned about this enrichment, and it calls for analysis, cross-lingual, cross-parliament, cross-country. So a bit about how you can access and use the data. More information you can find on the ParlaMint website. So I At the moment, I will not open the links. I just mention what is there, but you can check later. We have also publications where everything apart from the documentation in GitHub, which comes below, we explain in detail how these corpora were created, developed, used, compared, and so on. So for developers and data scientists, we have the GitHub repository where you can find some samples, encoding guidelines, XML schema, and the validation procedure. Apart from that, you can find the structure and encoding. Everything actually started from CLARIN initiative, a very nice initiative that was born within CLARIN on parliamentary data and investigations on this. So this parallel CLARIN schema was also used and developed further to match the ParlaMint data. So further, how to access the data. It is publicly available with a CC BY license through CLARIN Slovenia node. So as I mentioned, that it's very rich. The data includes the term, session, meeting of the parliament. Speeches are marked by the speaker and their role, whether they are chairs or regular speakers or guests at the parliament. And they have also top-level topics. The speeches themselves, they contain marked up transcriber comments, such as gaps, interruptions, leaving the room or coming into the room, or some kind of applause. Speakers-oriented info, it gets the name, gender, the status of the member of parliament or the minister, party affiliation, and in some of the corpora you can get the date of birth and even more information about these people. Then party and group orientation info, the name of the party, the coalition or opposition status, some source from Wikipedia, whether it's left or right or central orientation, and so on. And it was really challenging because, you know, some parties changed or just they made different kind of coalitions, and it had to be encoded through time. Okay, so very recently, the last version of this corpora was released, ParlaMint 5. Maybe here I would like to add that for this project, I coordinated it together with Maciej Ogrodniczuk from Poland, and the driving force behind this creation of the corpora were Tomasz Erjavec from Slovenia and Matija Škop from Czech Republic. Okay, so this latest version, it adds information on the topic of each speech for all corpora, and also it made some changes in the IDs of the categories in these corpus-specific taxonomies, because you can assume that, yeah, we aimed at similar data of across parliaments, but even though there are corpus-specific information, and also some minor errors were corrected. As the other versions, 5.0 version can be found in this way. First, we have the multilingual comparable corpora, only with metadata, without linguistic annotation. And you can find it in the repository of CLARIN Slovenia. Then there is the linguistically annotated multilingual corpora. And then you can also find the linguistically annotated comparable corpora, but in English. So this is about this type of data, but of course there were also vertical versions of this data, and it can be cured. So first in No Sketch, because it is freely available, and now you can find them on No Sketch. All these corpora. Not only there, however, there is another nice concordancer. It is TATOC, and it was developed by the Lindat, by the Czech CLARIN node, and you can also use data there. But at the moment, currently, we have only for one, the previous version of the data. Okay, just a small example. The translated data with Opus MT models, and you can see Polish border that was searched for, but on the left you can see that you have results from the Czech parliament, the Netherlands parliament, Polish, of course, parliament, and down Ukrainian parliament, Spanish, and so on. And you can just compare. Okay, the data was not only translated into English, but it was also semantically tagged. Once we have it in English, we can use, and we used a Lancaster tool. Paul Rayson was behind it. And you can also have some semantic tags and see, for example, expensive or usefulness or related to government or money, measurements, and so on. Okay, just another example. I already talked with some of you, but you know that Bulgaria is entering Eurozone from 1st of January, so my example is with the collocates of Eurozone in our corpus. And what you see here, the most popular one is the waiting room, because we were waiting and waiting. And this is the top, then membership, then going into this Eurozone, and Schengen, of course. So if somebody wants to use NoSketch, there is a good tutorial there how not only this kind of corpora can be used, but any kind of corpora. There are corpora also from the Klasla Knowledge Center about South Slavic languages and many more. Okay, just you to see how it looks like in TATOC. You can just choose one of the corpora and browse it and search through it. Yeah, and I tried with Czech language, the politics, and of course you can see what that is fiscal politics, maybe used a lot or just discussed here. Okay, so what next? As I said in the beginning, it's not the end. Not only because this corpus really and the methodology behind it are now the standard for further resources, but it was further used and continued in an Oscars project, which is called ParlaCap. And of course, you can search and read a bit more about it. And here, the idea is that we would like also to see the agenda settings across European parliaments, and also the sentiments within these parliaments, and also the connection of the speech with the text. So this is the additional dimensions that come here, this multimodal nature of the parliamentary data that was not possible to be done initially. Yeah, and of course, if you would like, you can go to the CLARIN resource families or to the webpage of ParlaMint, select whatever version you want to use, open it into the concordancers, and just see some examples how they are used in a context, produce a frequency list, search for translations, extract terminology, view statistics or collocations, and also you can download it and perform your analysis in another tool if you want to work with data, not just search it. So everything is possible with this.